I'll start collecting all of the,
Mishmash, but
that's great, mishmash is just what we're looking for.
Part of the project management challenge.
Yes, this technique is about taking a mishmash of information and turning it into something that you can use. So you can imagine you've got a dozen people in the room and they're all handing me all kinds of different ideas. Like, my goodness, how are we ever going to make sense out of all this? Sorry, I got yours?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So I have a whole bunch of these, and I'm just going to post them randomly up on this whiteboard here. And I'm actually going to read them all off as I go through, which will take a little bit of time. And basically, I just want to make sure that when I read what's on the sticky, that each person kind of basically understands what that person meant. So if you hear one of these and you totally don't get it, raise your hand and we'll ask the owner to add a little bit more explanation. But if it does seem completely self-explanatory, I'll just move on. And I'll have my back to you a little bit. So if there's one that you don't understand, you can bet that somebody else is confused too. So it'll help all of us out if you yell out and say, what? And then we'll get the owner. So PMP exam prep for June tests. Being noticed as using PM practices and, Matt? I don't know. Oh,
making work smoother.
And making activity flow smoother. Okay, so being noticed at work as using project management practices and making activities flow smoother.
Teaching buddy.
Example. More confidence in speaking up about adhering to PMI practices, project management practices. Improvement in decision making, time management, becoming a better salesman for PMI practices, better organizational skills for planning and initiation, learning through hearing and seeing the experience of experts in project management, solid understanding of project management concepts, how to keep projects on schedule despite sudden changes. Ooh, there's two concepts on one sticky here, but well.
I was trying to save paper. I thought they stuck together, so I said, why is she only giving me two? Is this a challenge?
Oh, no, sorry. And then also how to keep effective communication between different departments in projects. A sense of accomplishment. Higher self-confidence in the right way to project manage. Documentation of my own project management experience. Personal and professional growth. Even better interpersonal skills. An A. Development of skill set. I said this in my other class, I'll say it here too. You all start out this class with an A. I don't grade on a curve. I don't feel that I have to make, some A's, some B's, and some less. If you all do the work, if you all show up, if you all prove to me that you're engaged in what we're doing, and most of all, if you all actually learn something, then the grade is kind of a side benefit. Mostly I'm trying to change your life. And if that happens, basically if you do what I ask, you'll get an A. But what I'm more interested in is, did you get it? Did you get project management? And usually everyone does. Okay, turn knowledge into money.
Like that one.
Yeah.
That's got to be Peter.
Direct application to real world situations. Another way of saying that is theory versus actual practice. We'll talk some about theory, but mostly we talk about the real world. Techniques for juggling competing projects, client A versus client B. templates for approaching any project, large or small, techniques for defining project success, balancing quality versus time versus cost, coping with the as soon as possible syndrome, organization, better use of time, able to see the big picture, focus, operating dynamically with scheduled processes, not operating out of crisis. How to effectively persuade managers to select a potential project. Adopt a geeky tool to help manage my time. I can't tell you how much time I have spent
That wasn't me.
looking at geeky tools to help me manage my time. And I'll post my current favorites. It changes about every 4 months when the next geeky tool comes out. But people have realized that there's a market for this. There's a lot of cool stuff on the internet. Reduce my capstone anxiety. That I pass. Do planning and decision making for my capstone. Build confidence through know-how. Have a project management plan that's ready to implement. Learn tools that can help me in my job. Help with managing my future capstone. Understand how project management can help me. Organizational skills. Techniques. Share successes and failures of projects. Having a formal process. Reducing the overwhelm to steps. Actually, this is exactly what this class is about. Reducing the overwhelm to steps. Or this, the way to do that. Understanding the business environment protocol, and applicability to working with clients. Wow, what a bunch of stuff. A lot of valuable concepts, but man, how are we going to use this? Oh, turns out that you guys are all part of that process.